Howdy, y'all. It's Curious Raven. It is day 2 of Advent. I love the Christmas holidays and season. It feels different. It feels a little more cozy and love and warming. But today I am featuring with me Lady Spookaria. She is a Australian narrator, and I hope y'all enjoy this other weirdly ghost story collection. Number 1. Hi everyone. This is my first time posting here, and I'd appreciate any input as to what you think it could have been, whether you believe it was a person or something paranormal. I'd really just appreciate any input at all. On Tuesday, my best friends and her roommates, T and J, talking about our old high school 2 days ago. Our school was on top of a burial ground, and several students who have gone to the school there had passed away tragically, unrelated to the school. Well, they decided to break in at 3 a.m. to explore what the school was like now. We are 20, so we graduated only 2 years ago. Jay was scared and did not want to go inside, so she stayed in my friend's car in the driver's seat in case they all needed to leave as soon as possible. So S and her other roommate T decided to jump the gate and explore. They thought the energy seemed kind of scary, but they were curious and kept walking. They reached this one classroom in the back, and that's when my friend looked inside. She said the lights in the hallway were all red. I think it's just a feature they added. When she looked into the classroom, she saw a black silhouette of a person in the classroom close to the door. She said even though she couldn't make out a face, she felt that it was watching them. She grabbed T and told her to calmly they needed to leave because someone was there. They sprinted back to the car and they all left. They then went to our middle school to see what it looked like now. They couldn't get in because the gates were locked, so Jay asked S if she wants to get back into the driver's seat since it's her car, and S declines. So Jay pulls out and leaves. It's about 3:30, 3:45 a.m. at this point. As she pulls out and starts driving back to their apartment, they see these 2 white blinding lights coming towards them. They couldn't tell if it was a car since the lights were so bright. 2 seconds later, they realized it was a wrong-way driver coming at them at 80 miles an hour, and Jay was able to swerve around it the last second as the car just zoomed straight past them without realizing. Luckily, they saw cops pull over on the side of the road ahead. They told the cops and they immediately dispatched someone to go follow the car. They were silent for the rest of the night because of how terrifying the experience was. The scary part is that last week, a girl who just graduated from our high school was driving up to Maryland for Thanksgiving with her parents to visit her brother, who happened to be in our grade, and they swerved into the southbound lane and died in the head-on collision. S was telling her roommate about it right before they left the middle school and almost died. She is 100% sure she saw a person at the school, but isn't sure if it was a real person or something else. Our school doesn't have late security or cleaners. I'm not sure why. But when they told me the story, I felt a strong gut feeling that it was something else. The night just felt too perfectly lined up. I believe that humans are scarier than anything paranormal, but my gut just tells me she encountered something else. If anyone could give any input at all, it would be graciously appreciated. Thank you. Number 2. Yesterday I was telling my boyfriend about one of my great-grandmothers. I've been using her keychain that my grandma, her daughter, gave me for the last few years. Until today, I didn't know where she and the rest of her family were buried. Today, we decided to go on a bird-watching drive on back roads some 30 to 40 minutes away from my house. We were passing probably our 8th or 9th cemetery, a couple hours into the drive when my boyfriend suddenly suggested we should pull into one. I turned in, picked a random path to follow, and in a few minutes saw the names of some of my family members. We got out and found that the rest of the family graves with theirs. Said hi, brushed off some of the moss, and kept on our way. I don't know how to feel about this. I hadn't really thought or talked about my great grandma in a while, and the first time in more than a year I started wondering about her accident. I find her grave the next day. I talked to my cousin about stumbling across the cemetery, and she confirmed that some suspicions I have about her death are shared in some of the family. Most of us expect that it was less accidental than my grandma is willing to admit, and that the speed that the great grandma's husband moved his next wife into the house and more meaning than they have thought. We won't know for sure, but we have our suspicions. Number 3. One time in the middle of the night, probably around 4 a.m., as me and my cousin were driving home from another city where we were from in the dead of winter, we turned off a side road and realized it was the wrong way when it went nowhere but woods. As we were driving, we both saw two boys on the side of the road and heard a loud music playing. At first, I thought it was two boys who maybe snuck out having a smoke, and the music was a Bluetooth speaker. But when we turned the vehicle around and looked in the rearview mirror, the boys were gone. It also was completely unexplainable, as it is in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night, and was well below freezing. We both got really spooked and to this day have no explanation. We tried to look up the area we had gone through and found nothing. Has anyone ever experienced something like this with someone else where you both saw the same thing and couldn't explain it? Number 4. Something crossed the road while I was driving late at night. A couple months back, I was driving home late at night from work. Can't remember what time it was, but it was well past 1 a.m. Sure, I was a bit tired, but I have worse and never seen anything of the sort. I could see a figure in the distance. I saw the head and torso, but it was just a black figure. The road was really dark. My brain instantly thought, well done for crossing while I'm coming at you. So I start slowing down until I almost come to a complete stop. The moment my headlights hit the figure, it vanishes. My heart drops to my stomach, and I feel all color drain from my face. Mind you, I take the route home every day, at times even later than this, and this has never happened before. I keep thinking my mind was playing tricks on me, but I know what I saw. It was there one moment and gone the next. It was freaky. Number 5. What started it all is when my mom brought home some old paintings from her work. She works at an old people's home. So, there's been some deaths there. I started noticing at night that the house just felt weird, like something was just wrong. This kind of led up to the night where a piece of Tupperware fell by itself. And then I started hearing quiet, unintelligible static like voices coming from the kitchen. The Alexa we have was unplugged too, so it was not her. I told my mom the next morning, and since she's been pretty spiritual too, we talked about it and suspected it might have been the paintings she brought in. She threw away the paintings and everything went completely back to normal. I know it all sounds pretty tame, but experiencing it was actually pretty scary. Number 6. My boyfriend and I were taking a drive and went on the road called Gut Road. I've been on this road plenty of other times and never felt like this. As I'm driving, my gut started to twist, my heart drops, and I just felt off. We got to the end of the road and turned right to head towards the railroad tracks. I do have a connection with this area. My cousin died at those railroad tracks back in either '03 or '04, and I never really felt anything going through that area before. I don't want to think it's him, because I don't feel the warm, calm sensation I usually do when other relatives from the other side visit me. I just felt so off driving through there. My chest even got tight. We had to drive back through there to get home after we went into town. I still felt off the whole time and still do. I was never tenser than I've ever been before. Did I gain an attachment? Advice, please.
Finally had an interesting Ouija experience. I've played with Ouija boards numerous times with different friend groups, and nothing interesting happened. We'd either get no response or it'll spell out random things. This past Thanksgiving, a friend came over, and after eating dinner, we wanted to give the Ouija board thing a try. Just a quick note about us for background context. My friend is an ex-Mormon who doesn't believe in the paranormal. And although I'm open to the idea of paranormal phenomena, I have yet to personally experience anything that would be truly convincing. Before beginning, we set our intentions to speak with positive spirits only, and we agreed not to do anything obnoxious or weird, like making fun of the board, spirits, or asking questions we shouldn't. When will I die? How will I die? Etc. To my surprise, the planchette began moving shortly after we asked our first question, and the connection seemed consistent from there. The atmosphere was relaxed and warm. Among an array of cues, we asked questions about the individual we were communicating with, and we also asked questions about ourselves that we knew the other person wouldn't know. And the board answered accurately. We were trying to think of some more questions when it started spelling out H-E-L-P. M-E. I know this sounds so cliche, and if I ever write horror stories, I'm absolutely using this in the plot. It's something I couldn't even think of. Even if I tried, the chill environment became a bit eerie following this, and we asked with slight apprehension, "How can we help you?" It responded, Q-U-I-T. My friend looked genuinely nervous, and I was on edge as well. We agreed to listen to the response, but after we asked the final question, we asked if it could share why it wanted us to quit. The first letters were S-H, and I assumed it was going to tell us to shut up, but instead of going to the U, it ended up spelling S-H-A-T-A-N. My friend looked confused, and I asked her if she knew what the word meant, and she said she didn't. She doesn't speak Arabic. I told her it could mean Satan in Arabic, and explained that it's a classification of jinn in Islam. If the board meant Satan, as in pitchfork dude, then we both already knew what that meant. Either way, it wasn't good, and we kept to our promise to stop after that last question. We made sure to thank the spirit for talking to us, and we said goodbye before closing the session. We know about the idoter effect, or explanations about connecting with the subconscious, but I think it was particularly eerie that, 1, it started responding as we tried to think of more questions. 2, we both thought the board would spell shut up, as it went to SH, but instead it spelled shaitan. All in all, it was an interesting experience, but, perhaps superstitiously, I almost feel like it was warning me not to keep messing with Ouija, provided that it was truly something supernatural, and not the idometer stuff.
I hope y'all enjoyed day number 2 of Advent. Like I said before, I will not tell you who I am featuring on day 3. Thank you so much to Lady Spookaria. I hope y'all all have a very good day. I will see you tomorrow, but until then, remember it's scary out there. Like and subscribe.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross